This footage does not look like it was shot on a GoPro, and that's exactly the point. Because GoPro just teased something that could completely change what a GoPro actually is. And if this is real, this might be the first GoPro that could actually replace a real camera. Now, a quick disclaimer though, this is not a product launch, there are no confirmed specs yet, but based on official teasers and what GoPro revealed around their new GP3 chip, the direction is actually pretty clear. So here's what we know so far. GoPro announced their new GP3 chip, which is supposed to bring significantly more processing power, better low-light performance and more advanced image processing. But the interesting part is not the chip itself, it's what they said it will be used for. They literally mentioned premium compact cinema grade cameras, and at the same time they released teaser footage that show things we have honestly never seen from a GoPro before. We are talking shallow depth of field, real background blur, macro shots, even telephoto looking footage of the moon. Yes, the actual moon. So this doesn't look like an action camera anymore. So the real question is not what this camera is. The real question is what this actually means. Because if you look at the footage, this is clearly not a traditional GoPro. So the big question is, could this actually replace your current setup? So replacing an action cam? Very likely yes. If they keep the durability but improve image quality at real depth of field and proper autofocus, this could instantly become the new standard in that category. Replacing something like the Osmo Pocket 3, for example, that's where things get really interesting, because to be honest, the Pocket 3 is already very close to what I would call the perfect vlogging camera. You have a relatively large sensor for that size, you get natural depth of field that already looks quite cinematic, and most importantly, you have a mechanical gimbal. And that combination is extremely hard to beat. The footage looks clean, stable and also reliable. And that's exactly why the Pocket 3 is selling so well right now. It's simple, it works and the results are consistent. Now imagine GoPro actually building something that competes in that space. Compact, rugged, maybe even waterproof with better optics and fewer limitations. That would be insanely good, but I honestly doubt it, because combining all of that into one device without compromises in usability, stabilization and image quality is incredibly difficult, I would say, and that's exactly where most cameras fail. And that's the real challenge, not building something new, but beating something that is already very close to perfect. Replacing a mirrorless camera? No, at least not for serious production. Sensor size, lens flexibility and overall control are still on a completely different level. For lightweight setups, travel or quick content creation, this could get surprisingly close. And actually, this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. I've been considering getting a second, more compact mirrorless camera, something like the Sony ZV-E1, just to have a smaller option next to my Sony a7 IV and maybe get a second angle. But honestly, two things are holding me back. First of all, the price. I would easily spend around $3,000 for a camera and a compact lens setup. And second, I catch myself more and more realizing that I just don't want to carry that kind of gear around anymore if I can avoid it. So I actually made a full video about this where I show what fits into an ultra compact sling bag right here, like a real minimal creator setup. And it's honestly crazy how small you can go without losing too much quality. And if you think about it, for my most successful DJI Neo videos recently, especially the real world tests, I didn't even use a mirrorless camera. I used a small compact setup and it worked. So in a way, this whole direction actually makes a lot of sense. Let's make this practical for a second. If the camera is real, where would I actually use it? So first scenario, travel, I would say. Instead of carrying a mirrorless lens and accessories, if this gives you good enough image quality for a tiny form factor, this could replace your entire lightweight travel setup. Second scenario, quick creator shots. So right now I often use something compact because it's fast and reliable. If GoPro can deliver similar quality but in a more rugged and flexible body, that's a big deal actually. And third, action plus cinematic in one device. So right now you often need two cameras, one for action and one for cinematic shots. If this combines both, that's actually a completely new workflow. And now here's the real question. If this camera existed today, would I actually choose it over my current setup? Over an action cam? Yes, instantly. And to be fair, I actually own a GoPro Hero 10. I think it's here on the shelf somewhere. And I even used it for a skiing video back then. But since that point, I haven't bought another action cam. The only exception was the Insta360 X5, but that's a completely different category, at least in my opinion. For me, the improvements over the last years just weren't real innovations anymore, and that's exactly why something like this could be interesting again. Over something like the Pocket 3, it depends on audio, usability, and low light, I would say. But it could be very close. Over a mirrorless camera, honestly, I think no. But that's not the point, because if this sits right in the middle, this could become a default camera for a lot of creators. And to be honest, GoPro kind of has to do this. Action cameras haven't changed that much over the last years. At the same time, companies like DJI and Insta360 are pushing hard into the creator space. And that's where the market is right now. People don't just want action footage anymore. They want cinematic, flexible, and easy to use cameras. Yeah, it's that what I want. So this feels less like an experiment and more like a necessary move. And just to put this into perspective, this is not happening in isolation, because 2026 is shaping up to be a really interesting year for compact creator cameras. According to Insta360 CEO, the new Lunar camera is officially planned to launch in the first half of 2026. So this is not just a rumor, but actually confirmed, at least in terms of direction and timing. When it comes to DJI, the situation is a bit different. There are currently no official details about a potential Osmo Pocket 4, but multiple independent reports suggest that a successor to the Pocket 3 is very likely without any confirmed release timeline yet. So on one side you have the DJI most likely continuing to refine what already works. On the other side, Insta360 trying to rethink the concept with something new. And now GoPro potentially entering this space from a completely different angle. And that makes this whole situation really interesting, because it's not about one camera anymore. It's about who defines the future of compact creator cameras. And this is actually where I would be really curious to hear your thoughts as well. Would you guys want to see a real world test of one of these cameras on this channel as soon as they come out? Because I'm seriously considering just buying one of them myself or more and doing a proper real life test. No sponsored stuff, just how it actually performs in the real world. So let me know in the comments if that's something you would be interested in. But we have to stay realistic here. We don't know the price. We don't know the actual specs, and we don't know when this will release. And teaser footage is always the best case scenario. So this could be amazing or just really good marketing. Who knows? But what I find really interesting is not the camera itself, it's the direction. Because if GoPro actually moves into this space, we could see a completely new category of cameras. something between an action cam, a vlogging camera, and a compact cinema camera. And from a creator's perspective, that's actually exactly what a lot of people are looking for right now. Me included, by the way. And also the last camera I personally bought in that space was the Insta360 X5, and I will have some real world tests coming very soon. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe down here and maybe leave a like if this video helped you. And just to be transparent, all the websites and sources I mentioned in this video are linked in the description below. Stay healthy, take care, and I will see you in the next one.